So yes, I would like to talk about a few things. One of the things is the FISA Act, FISA bill. It's a direct violation of the laws of the United States of America. Yet people are going to be listening to what we do on the internet or finding out what we do on the internet. People are going to listen to our phone calls. 25 million phone calls listened to by the FBI. For what purpose? We know that when the Republicans get a memo stating that 911 will happen in America, they ignored it. That wasn't the Democrats, that was the Republicans. Remember that. So now they're playing catch up. And how are they playing catch up? By violating every law that we have. Okay, freedom of speech, gone. Due process, gone. This has been consistently happening in our government, and people are afraid. The Democrats are afraid. And you know what? When we really speak out about the issues in America, what do we get from our Democratic Party? It's distressing. You cannot even not even get an email back from the Democratic Party. It's frustrating. To me, I've always talked about the personal approach. If you want people to be truly democratic, give them the personal touch. Give them the personal effects. And these are people that I've worked for before. So that's just my slant on politics in general, that they should really be concerned about the people that they are representing. Constituent services, I can tell you about 20 ways you can be a constituent. The constituent services can be improved. It's not a Democratic thing. It's not a Republican thing. We need to start taking care of our people. Okay, not just in talk, not just in words alone. It's not about words. It's very frustrating for people out here that are poor or looking for work, that want to work, and the stigmas that are put on them. And this whole creation of a down economy where Bears and Stearns was bailed out in a matter of seconds, and yet those people that are poor need to wait, and even middle class need to wait for their checks until April. Thanks. Or May. Great work. And some of this is just the legacy of 7 years of Republican politics. Now I'm going to talk about John Sununu. Sununu voted against the Energy Independence and Security Act. Sounds good, doesn't it? Most people would agree that that sounds logical. And what would this program do? It would create jobs in the renewable energy industry, save New Hampshire families money and gas costs, and start to tackle global warming through energy efficiency. Sounds great. Sununu didn't vote for it. Thanks, John. Sununu is a reckless spender who voted repeatedly to increase deficits and the federal debt, leading to the current economic uncertainty and record levels of debt. So New Hampshire, record levels of debt. Sununu has failed to stand up for our homeland security, voting repeatedly against measures to make our ports and borders safer. He even voted against the bipartisan bill to implement the recommendations of the 911 Commission. So we get this commission, and we're not going to listen to them, John. Are we? No, we want things to be unsafe as they are now. Okay, let's see. Sununu was the most loyal supporter of the Bush war in Iraq. He supports the Bush administration's continued escalation of the war in Iraq, while at the same time voting against funding for armored Humvees and body armor for our troops. How could he do something like that? How about the flak jackets? Remember the flak jackets controversy? Remember the helmets controversy? Those were real things. Those were real issues. Um, and that we talk about our soldiers. The Republicans have been great about the loyalty of being loyal to soldiers. Well, we have homeless vets out there. While we have Walter Reed, problems with Walter Reed, peeling paint, mold. Why certain people are not being allowed to vote or not getting any help with the right to vote. Why certain people aren't getting any help with the right to getting their benefits when they come back to the United States. Why Senator McCain doesn't and won't support a GI Bill in the United States of America. So we go back to Sununu. Sununu has been one of the most loyal supporters of the war of George Bush's war. Now, here comes to the next point. Sununu voted against heating assistance for the elderly and low-income New Hampshire families, which would have helped about 30,000 New Hampshire residents pay their skyrocketing heating bills. So now, why the heating costs have gone up, or the cost of diesel has gone up, and this fixed economy, this fixed crisis created by the Republicans, what's Sununu do? We don't get the funding we need on a local level. Programs like low-income heating assistance for the poor. And that the program works great, but you have to fund it first to be able to make it work. And so things where people have older houses or people are renting, we don't get that boon during January and February, 2 months that are critical. If we can take care of 2 months in this area, New Hampshire, we'd have a lot of people off of poverty. We don't want people off of poverty, do we? This program, LIHEAP as they're calling it now, which was called HEAP for years and years, is really a boon to landlords, it's a boon to fuel companies, electric companies, and it's a boon to places that do programs like insulation, providing windows, and it's a boon to protecting us. It's a boon to energy efficiency. So what do? We're going to cut that funding. Sound logical? Not to me. Sununu voted against expanding spending, for embryonic stem cell research. Not a big point. I'm really not very up on that point. Getting back to the HEAP program, we have people that count on that program. We have people that have doors that have not been fixed where it lets cold air in, and landlords are wasting money on heating these places, and crevices that haven't been patched. It seems like that would be a good program. It also puts money back into the economy. In 2006, John Sununu told New Hampshire business leaders to stop complaining about health care. Sununu has accepted over $100,000 in campaign contributions for the pharmaceutical industry. Sununu has voted against Medicaid funding at least 8 times since 2002, even though 134,000 New Hampshire residents are enrolled in Medicaid. Well, there's the twist of Medicaid. Medicaid helps hospitals, Medicaid helps the people that are working in the systems, Medicaid helps the poor. Now we could ignore Medicaid, Medicare, as we seem to be doing in smaller areas. The problem is with Medicaid that a lot of doctors don't accept it. So here on healthcare, Sununu, I'll give him a big F because we have people that are hurting out there and people that are not being taken care of. And once again, it's a program that, contrary to public opinion, does benefits the hospitals, benefits Dartmouth, benefits our community by having healthy people in our community. And if, once again, if we have all the Congress people that are so against government health care, well, let's start with them. Let's take away their right to government health care. Let's take away McCain's, let's take away Bush's. It's fine when they get their government health care. And when we give them tons of money, $200 billion to Bears and Stearns and bail them out so quickly, it's fine when they get their money. Is anybody holding back their tax checks? No. Income tax checks? No. But the poor? They're going to go after the poor. They're going to interrogate the poor. And that's what Sununu has been doing. Sununu has consistently earned a 0% rating from the nation's leading pro-choice groups. Not a big issue with me. I'm sorry about that. Actually, I'm not sorry. I'm Catholic, and I think it's a moral decision. I think people should stop having abortions. Simple. And I also think it's a wedge issue where the Republicans will use and do nothing about. And it's new to vote against providing $1.15 billion to the COPS program, which would provide state and local law enforcement with critical resources. John Sununu, so a COPS program. Sounds like a Republican issue. 0 from Sununu. John Sununu has consistently voted against climate change regulations. In 2002, Sununu did not even consider carbon dioxide a pollutant. Stupid. In October 2003, he voted against a bipartisan bill aimed at reducing carbon dioxide emissions to the year 2000 levels by 2010. Once again, in 2005, Sununu opposed a bipartisan Senate resolution urging the Bush administration to negotiate with other industrialized nations to curb greenhouse gas emissions. There, I've said it. So Sununu, I don't know what he's done for New Hampshire. I can't figure it out. I wish I could. But from my standpoint, he hasn't done much. I thank you very much for your time. If you want to a government by the people, for the people, definitely don't vote for John Sununu. Thank you very much. Don't vote for the Republicans. Look what they have brought us. Are you any better off than you were 8 years ago? I doubt it. Thanks.